Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into the terrifying truth behind fiction's most iconic killers.
You know the type, the charming intellectual who just kind of pulls you into their world. Then you've got the ones who are deeply disturbed, their madness born from a dark, twisted past.
And some, they're just flat out monstrous. Their actions are beyond all human comprehension. But what if I told you these characters weren't just dreamed up by some writer?
Well, like the old saying goes, the scariest stories often come from some pretty terrifying truths.
Okay, let's dive in with the guy who basically created the blueprint for body horror, Ed Gein. Now, Gein only had 2 confirmed kills. The real horror was what he did afterwards. Gein's twisted relationship with his mother, that became the direct inspiration for Norman Bates in Psycho. And what's really wild is how Gein's real-life creations inspired so many different villains. But evil doesn't always look grotesque, right? Sometimes it looks, well, perfectly normal, even charming. Which leads us to a killer who completely changed how we think about evil itself. The answer lies in something called the mask of sanity. And Ted Bundy, he's the poster child for it. Bundy was a total social chameleon. The people who knew him just couldn't believe he was a killer. So that charm wasn't just part of his personality. Nope, it was his #1 weapon. This whole double life thing he had going on, it created a brand new, terrifying archetype in fiction. Okay, so let's see how this gets even more complex when you start combining these real-life monsters. You see, the most memorable villains, they're hardly ever based on just one person. They're an amalgam. And for a perfect example, look no further than one of cinema's creepiest killers, Buffalo Bill. The author basically stitched him together piece by piece from at least 5 different real killers. So what does this all tell us about the link between real horror and the horror stories we love? Fiction can definitely dial up the horror, but the real scary part, it's knowing it's all rooted in truth. This whole process turns real-life tragedy into a product, one that both terrifies and fascinates us. But it makes you wonder, when we watch these stories, are we exploring human darkness or are we just glamorizing it?